Welcome, inquisitive intellects, to another insightful episode on the Psych Curious channel. Today, we unravel the mystery of a hoarder's mind. Hoarding, a peculiar behavior, is a complex inability to let go. To a hoarder, items hold an intangible emotional value that's tough to understand. It's a complex issue, rooted in anxiety, attachment, and sometimes trauma. A child, associating getting rid of things with loss, might hoard items in adulthood. So tighten your seatbelts, spark that curiosity, and let's plunge into the human mind and its many mysteries. Ever pondered why some individuals find it so challenging to part ways with objects they no longer require? For many, it's more than just a fascination. Hoarding is not as simple as mere accumulation. It's often an emotional experience tied to personal histories. Let's consider the story of Mr. Brown, a kind-hearted elderly man. He was found living among heaps of newspapers that dated back to the 60s. Every paper, every article had a story to tell. His story. They were the breadcrumbs of his life, silently narrating tales of a time gone by. Hoarding isn't just materialism. It can be a symptom of various mental health conditions such as obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, or depression. For example, Mr. Brown was diagnosed with depression. For him, each newspaper, each hoarded item represented a quest for happiness. In essence, hoarding can act as a coping mechanism, a complex interplay of emotions and mental disorders. Mr. Brown's story is a testament to this complexity, but at its core, hoarding is a human experience, both intricate and intriguing, that deserves understanding and empathy. By inspecting the mystery of hoarding, we gain an understanding of Mr. Brown's story. Hoarding is defined as a persistent difficulty in discarding or parting with possessions, irrespective of the actual value they hold. This disorder goes beyond just being disorganized. It's a severe affliction that can hugely affect one's life. Its impacts are multifaceted, often causing emotional distress akin to constant anxiety and leading to social isolation. Hoarding involves excessively acquiring items, regardless of their quality or condition. An individual suffering from this disorder may hoard even hazardous or unsanitary items, seeking comfort in their possession. This comfort is inexplicable to outsiders, but is much like the solace one finds in a beloved object. The triggers for hoarding can vary widely, from emotional trauma to intricate psychological issues like obsessive-compulsive disorder or depression. However, the root causes are typically deep-seated, similar to how the root of an iceberg lies beneath the water's surface, unseen but overwhelmingly significant. Surprisingly, hoarding isn't merely about an inability to let go, akin to how a child might clutch onto a favorite toy. To illustrate this complexity, allow me to tell you about Alice. Alice, a 45-year-old woman, used to lead a perfectly normal life until a tragic accident took away her family. Became overwhelmed by grief and stress, she found solace in collecting objects, often things she did not require. These things, in her perspective, were tangible memories and anchors of her past life. Over time, Alice's home turned into an overflowing warehouse of items. Like in Alice's case, a complex issue, deeply rooted in the human psyche, often fueled by profound issues which remain concealed. These conditions can lead to feelings of isolation and vulnerability. Consequently, hoarding becomes a coping mechanism, a defense strategy, akin to a hermit crab carrying its shell for protection. It's a way to bring order to their internal chaos, by arranging physical objects, creating a sense of control amidst the tumult of emotions. Individuals build a physical barrier with their possessions, much like a fortress, building a fortress of stuff, brick by brick, item by item, to protect oneself from the harsh realities of life. Research shows that there's a deep-seated association between hoarding tendencies and previous distressing events. This connection can be especially noteworthy for individuals who've braved emotional upheavals, leading to the accumulation of items as a form of self-soothing. Take the example of Linda, a survivor of a catastrophic flood that swept through her hometown. She lost everything: her home, her belongings, the life she knew. This traumatic event triggered a change in Linda. She began collecting water-resistant items, not for their monetary value, but as a safeguard against future floods. Items like waterproof containers, life vests, and even rubber boots began piling up in her new home, giving her a sense of security amidst the fear of another disaster. Similarly, imagine a person who has survived a house fire. This individual may accumulate smoke alarms, not for their materialistic value, but as a beacon of safety. These items hold emotional significance more than they do monetary worth, and they offer a sense of security. And so hoarding presents a soothing comfort and a semblance of control in the midst of disorder, acting as a refuge against the stark realities. The repercussions of hoarding are far-reaching and extend beyond the individual who's hoarding. It's a serious issue that places strain on personal relationships, potentially causing resentment among family members and friends. This behavior also impedes productivity, making even simple tasks, like finding a remote or cooking a meal, become burdensome chores. The hoarder may struggle to lead a fulfilling life, as their obsession to accumulate items overshadows their basic desires such as maintaining personal hygiene or cultivating relationships. This clutter is a physical manifestation of their mental health struggles, reflecting their internal battles. Living in such an environment hinders personal growth and damages relationships. The excessive items can make it impossible to host social events, leading to isolation. The embarrassment or anxiety about their living conditions can further isolate them from loved ones. This clutter prevents the individual's personal and professional advancements. It becomes an obstacle to achieving goals and managing mental health effectively. It creates an environment that is counterproductive to personal growth or the cultivation of healthy relationships, making it extremely challenging for the individual to break free from the cycle of hoarding. But here's the heartening part. Hoarding, as daunting as it may seem, is a challenge that can be surmounted. Change is achievable. The journey to recovery could be likened to navigating through a fragile web, requiring resilience and courage. Each step taken signifies progress. It's about facing fears and insecurities, stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Take the case of Emily, once a severe hoarder, whose home was an unending maze of clutter. The essence here was her incredible resilience, much like a bamboo tree weathering a storm. With the encouragement of family and therapists, she began to understand her behaviour's roots. Emily's story is a testament to the importance of a robust support system. Her friends, family, therapists, and self-help groups became her lighthouse, guiding her through the recovery path. With patience, akin to a gardener nurturing a seed into a tree, understanding and the right support, Emily transformed her life. She learned to let go, much like a bird eventually leaves its nest. Today, Emily lives in a decluttered home and even helps others struggling with a similar disorder. So, it's true. With the right ingredients, individuals can overcome hoarding, just like Emily did. Recognizing the problem is the first step. When it comes to hoarding, this is more formidable than it appears. It necessitates the affected individual overcoming denial and acknowledging that their possession accumulation isn't merely an innocent pastime, but a severe issue. It isn't comparable to stamps or coins collecting, which is systematically conducted with limits. Hoarding is a serious concern, often unrecognized by the victim, which requires urgent attention and is classified as a psychological disorder. Hoarding transcends mere collecting. It's an uncontrollable urge to amass objects, often worthless, to the point of disrupting daily life. The harsh truth is, hoarding can impede basic tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and mobility in the house. Paths blocked with newspaper or rooms overflowing with forgotten purchases are common. Sleeping is also impacted, with beds crowded with clothes and sundry items, leaving no space for rest. This is the reality that hoarders grapple with. Overcoming this requires professional help. Counsellors and therapists specialising in hoarding issues are essential. They have comprehended the condition's intricacies and are equipped to provide emotional support and practical strategies. They play a crucial role in initiating the decluttering process. Trained therapists provide guidance, strategies and therapies to address the emotional and psychological aspects of hoarding, creating a safe and non-judgmental environment to facilitate the process. In the journey of Sarah, a former hoarder, the importance of building a robust support network became abundantly clear. For years, Sarah was weighed down by the clutter in her life, the physical manifestation of her inability to let go. But with the help of a close-knit circle of friends, supportive family members, and dedicated support groups, she realized she wasn't alone in her struggle. These were her pillars of strength, her personal cheerleaders who shared their experiences and lent their emotional strength on her challenging days. One day, Sarah looked around her house, a sea of items she didn't need or use. and decided it was time to change. It wasn't about the number of items she discarded that day, but about her willingness, determination, and commitment to make a significant change in her life. Her support network stood by her side, encouraging her to part ways with items that no longer added value to her life. Adopting a minimalistic lifestyle was for her as much about creating room for peace and contentment as it was about decluttering her physical space. She learned to appreciate less and prioritize quality over quantity. Success, as she discovered, was measured by resilience, willingness to change, and determination. Sarah embraced this journey, and with every item she discarded, she took another stride towards a minimalistic and peaceful lifestyle. So remember Sarah's story and know that each little step you take is a significant stride towards a life free of clutter. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of hoarding. Your time and curiosity are truly appreciated. We hope this deep dive into the multifaceted aspects of hoarding has shed some light on an often misunderstood and stigmatized issue. If you found this information helpful, we encourage you to share this video with others who might benefit from it. Spreading awareness and understanding can make a world of difference to those struggling with hoarding. Remember, stay curious, keep exploring, and until next time, take care.